Well, hello and welcome Acquainted with Hillary Gooden. This is National Women's History Month, and I'm so glad to get the month started with my special guest for today, Miss Nancy Ngwa. I'm not sure if I said that right, but she will let us know when she comes out. So as you get ready and as you come in, please do share the broadcast out, tag a friend, tag some other women that you know that would love to get in on the conversation. Today, the theme is celebrating women who tell our stories. And so that is the theme for 2023 for National Women's Month. And I'm going to play a quick commercial, and that will give us time to share this broadcast out, tag someone else, and then come on back in. And as you do, let me know where you're coming in from, and we'll find out where my guest is coming in from before we get our conversation started. So let me just get this ready. And here we go. Hi, busy women leaders. I'm talking to you. Are you juggling your family, your business, your career, and your health? Afraid that if just one ball drops to the ground, everything could fall apart because everybody's looking at you. You're stressed and overwhelmed. You're looking for answers, for help that's real help, for solutions. I have Vibrant Life Solutions that can help you. I am Hillary Gooden, the Vibrant Life Coach, author, speaker, lymphologist, and pastor. I empower busy women leaders with strategies to reduce stress and anxiety while increasing energy, clarity of mind, better sleep, better health, and vitality. Oh yeah, and boost your immunity. If you are ready for that, you say, I need that in my life right now. Let's connect. You can reach me at www.hillarygooden.com. You can direct message me on Facebook or LinkedIn at Hillary Gooden. Or else if you would like to get on a free 20-minute strategy call, a clarity call, go to bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. That's bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. I absolutely believe you got the power to help your body, help you live a more vibrant life. All right, so we're back. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest out at this time. This is her first time on. Probably won't be her last. I'll be glad to do that. Welcome to Let's Get Acquainted. How are you?
Hey, Hillary, I am doing great. Obviously, it's been a long day, but a productive day. So it's always a good one when it ends that way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let us make sure that we're saying your name correctly. I said Nancy Ngwa. Is that correct? Was I close?
Nancy Nancy Gua
Wow.
is it's my name, West African origin. Some might argue that it's Central African origin, but my family's from Cameroon. So,
Okay.
yep.
All right. Well, welcome again. So that lets us know where your origin is from, but where are you from currently?
Where I
Where
currently
are you
live,
located?
yeah, I currently actually just relocated to Alabama, to Auburn, Alabama.
Oh,
So
no.
I've been calling it the Alabama. It's a little bit different. I was I was living in Georgia for the past 16 years, and before that, I was raised in Texas since I was from
Okay.
9 until I left undergrad at the age of 21. So
Already.
yeah.
So you came from from Africa and down in those southern states. I'm up here in Chicago, in Harvey, Illinois,
Oh,
which is right outside the city of Chicago.
oh,
And so
nice, nice, nice,
say
nice.
I wish I was down south, but I don't know. It's a lot of strange weather going on right now.
Yeah, I think like today was
So,
like rainy, tornado-y or something. I don't even know. We had a fire drill at work and it was kind of raining outside. So, uh, so it's pretty
I
interesting
know I
weather.
used
Yeah,
to
for
hate
sure.
when that would happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
hands down.
So, wow, Nancy, I'm so glad to have you on today because when I was on your show and I had a ball, it really was great. So I'm glad to have you here. The
Oh, glad to be
National
here.
Women's History, thank you, National Women's History Month. Is that something that you celebrate on your show as well during the month of March?
Actually, yeah, we have a couple of cool stuff coming out. So obviously, we have a newsletter. Actually, it's running through Neatta's Cuisine right now, which is my culinary brand. But we have a newsletter coming out. It's going to be completely women focused, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
and so I'm excited about that release. And yeah, with Sips, it's all Sips. We celebrate women all year long, and so, but you will definitely
Okay.
have an emphasis on women here in this month.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, what I found out that there's a theme every month. And this year's theme is celebrating women who tell our stories. And we're a part
Mm.
of that. You know, we're telling our stories as a part of the whole, all of the stories that are going out there. Tell me, who has impacted your life as far as a woman goes? Do you find, let me know this here, do you have women who have impacted your life that makes up who you are today?
I mean, it might be cliche, right? But like hands down, my mother is the top person that has impacted my life. One, she was
Mhm.
a young mom. She had my sister at 19 and she had me at 21. And then we moved to the States when I was 8 months old for the first time. And then we went back.
Oh,
Um, just my dad, my sister, and myself went back. So my mom actually stayed in the States to get her education and then brought
mm,
us back several years later, right? And so when you talk about just like a woman of strength and what does she stand for? It's just strength
yeah,
um and just perseverance. And then she's an incredible wife to my dad. Like she's without him, he says it all the time, like without him I don't, she's really helped shape and mold him to being even a better man. And
yeah,
she's an incredible mom and she just really taught me just strength and what it means to not just be this strong black woman, right, but also to be soft when you
mhm,
need to be soft and how to lead
yes,
a household, quietly at times. And so yeah, she's definitely number one. Then I had another lady that impacted me, my first um, manager in the supply chain world was definitely, I mean, significant influence on my life because I mean, many years later, I'm a leader in the supply chain world, and so her name was Shanda Leffler, and she just through grad school and just everything. I mean, the way she just supported me through school and a very hard, financial time in my life when I found myself a sole provider for my son and going through
yeah,
school, she just poured into me in just so many different ways. I remember graduating and getting my master's. I didn't go to graduation. I didn't walk the stage, but she knew I was done, and I think I was
mm,
moving, and she got me a washer dryer because she was like, "You don't need to be going to the laundromat anymore," and like went into her own pocket and spent like however much
yeah,
money to get me a washer and a dryer
yeah,
set. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so when I think about the
yeah,
two women of huge significant impact, it's definitely those two. And I can't forget my sister. My sister is like an extension of a mom to me. West African tradition,
yeah.
your elders
She's
are your
she's the
guides.
older sister.
Yeah, yeah. We're 18
Yeah.
months apart. But she used to like carry my backpack when we were like going to school. As a young child in Cameroon, like I'd be walking up the hill and she'd like carry my bag for me, And so till this day she still has my
Yeah.
back. She's one of my biggest supporters in everything that I do. So those are my top three.
Um, Blessing. That really, you just don't know what a blessing that is, or maybe you do know what a blessing that is because there are so many that don't have even though they have their mothers and their sisters, they don't have that connectedness,
Right.
that thing that makes them together, have each other's back,
Right.
that they can count on. So that's really a blessing to hear. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about when I was in one teacher that really did change me when I was in sixth grade. Going back that far, when I was in sixth grade, we were, well, actually, I guess it was eighth grade, and we were getting ready to graduate, to go to high school.
Hmm.
We had a choice to take an exam to go to this school that was that had students from all over the cities. You had to take an exam again to qualify, to pass it in order to get in there. And when she came around and she said, "Well, Hillary," she stood by my desk. She said, "I noticed you didn't take one of the applications." I said, "You have to take a test."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, you can pass the test." And I was just thinking, it's a test. And I remember her looking square in the eye. She said, "You can do it." And I felt like, yes, I can.
Yes.
And of course,
Those
and I
words of
passed the
affirmation.
test. Yes, it was a guy next to me. I'll never forget him. His name was General Van Owens the Third. If you happen to
Yep.
hear this or somebody, well, this is what the story was. General Van Owens the Third. He looked at me and he said, "You're not going to pass that test." But she said I could. This was
Yeah.
everything to me. And when they came back with the listing of those that were going on to that school, his name wasn't on there, but my name was. And that was
Wow.
such a feeling. It has helped me. It has really helped me. There are many times where I thought back to my confidence and stuff started, with her. And
Yeah.
it's really something. Of course, with my mother too. I thank God. She's been such an example in my coming up as well, of strength and just how to get things done,
Yep.
even
Getting
in
it
the
done.
sight of impossible barriers,
Hmm.
and it's really amazing. And those really are two that I remember the most. Of course, well, when I had one person that I worked for, she was hard to get along with, but I learned a lot about leadership from her.
Yeah.
She was
Which is
hard. She was a
awesome.
hard taskmaster, but I learned how, you learn how to be able to get along with somebody. Where can
Yeah.
we get along? We can get along here, so that's where we're gonna get along. As I gleaned and
Yeah.
gleaned and gleaned. So yes,
Yeah.
we want
Yeah.
to
No.
celebrate uh, those that have imparted unto us. And that's what we want to do now. I'm sure that's what you want to do and are doing, even by virtue of having the show. This is something that gives someone a platform,
Right. And so,
right?
part of, yeah. So, I guess just, a little bit about me for, if your audience is watching this, know like who I am.
Yes.
I have a show called Tips and Conversations, but my day job, I'm a supply chain leader. You know, and, and I feel like I had both areas allow me to have a voice, right? Um, and to shine as a woman and to empower women because one, of course, you have the platform to be able to share women's stories, but then also, when you're a leader in the workplace, there's just such a sense of just pride and accomplishment when you're able to be that woman that, especially in supply chain, like there's not a lot of women in supply chain.
Yeah.
And so for people to be like, oh my goodness, there's a female in supply chain, right? And then, you know, I also give them a voice if they're on my team or not on my team. Like, how can I
Yeah.
how how can they feel of value? So I think it's just it's
Yeah.
you don't have to have a show in order to be able to share women's stories. I think we can do it from wherever seat that
Yes.
we're really in. But I'm very 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 fortunate to have created uh, um, a group of not a group of women, but to be able to bring women together through my platform and just share their stories.
Now, you said supply chain a few times. Could you just explain a little bit about what that is?
Oh yeah, so supply chain. So we all remember back in 2020 in the panoramic, as they called it. where everybody started noticing there were supply chain issues, right? You went to Walmart and there was no groceries on the shelves. There were no eggs. There was
Yeah. No
nothing.
toilet
Um,
paper.
and no toilet paper. And I think that was the first time that the world really started to hear the term supply chain. Was when you run out of toilet paper,
Yes.
somebody's gonna be like, "What happened?" And they're gonna say the supply chain is off. And so, in very quick and easy layman's terms, supply chain is just the end to end of getting the product made to getting it to the consumer, right? So everything in between. It includes like getting raw
Okay.
materials. So I work in manufacturing. We actually make I work in health healthcare device manufacturing environment, and so it's definitely very very fulfilling work. We make a product here that sustains people's lives and saves lives every single day. So it's very very rewarding, very very impactful for me. And so my role here is to get the raw material into the plant, plan it through the line schedule, so through production, and then get it out the back door into warehousing and then onto a truck, and then it gets distributed globally. So, in a
Yeah.
nutshell, that's essentially what I do. Of course, I have a team to do that,
Oh
right?
wow.
I can't do it on my own.
Yeah, to help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful. You're the first person I ever met that works in that capacity. You
Yeah,
handling
it's a lot of fun. It's a
we
lot. It's
have
a lot
your
of fun. It's a
mantra.
lot of fun.
Let's let yeah. We have your mantra with us, Jubilee. And she says, what role
Hmm.
has music played in our lives? Love music. I always did love to
I
dance.
Oh my goodness. So
How about you?
music for me is just so multifaceted. Like I've got my praise and worship. Like I'm that person that I'm that little bit of what they say, a classy woman with a little bit of hood and a whole lot of Jesus, right? That's who I am. And that's how my music is. And so so I love a good praise and worship.
Yeah, yeah, all
Um,
over.
I'll
I know.
I'll jam out to that. Growing up in Texas, we definitely had our yeehaws, and so I love a little bit of country music. Shania Twain is
And I
everything.
love country.
Um, love country, and then of course I'm West African, so Afrobeats now is a thing, but like I'm talking back when we had like Makossa and like African music, and so I'll be just jamming from side to side. Then every now and again, especially on a Friday or when you're in the gym, you got to bust out that Rick Ross,
Yeah.
right? And so and so,
Well, I
music
don't
is a
know
way
Ross,
just a
but I
little bit
know
of
what
Rick
you
Ross,
mean.
a little bit of Jay-Z, a little bit of something to just get you like hype and just going. And so, yeah, music is just that. It's
Yeah.
that outlet for me. And it's just how I express myself, just like with hair, right? You express yourself through hair.
Yeah.
Same thing with music.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. That's what with music I always have loved music, and I was always the one that said, "Go get Hillary. What's that new dance that's out?" When I was coming up, what I could show them
Hmm.
whatever it was, family
Yeah.
gatherings and stuff like that. I went through my country phase where I just loved country. Some of my people that were at work, they would look at me because it was an all black organization.
Hmm.
They would look at me like, what?
Like, what are you
Hey,
listening
this
to?
is where I am right now. And
Right.
then with where I worked at, we were very Afrocentric, and we had our monthly meetings, and they be playing the drums, and have sometimes we had people come in that would do the African dances and all that. So,
Yeah.
and then I'm a '70s child. I love me some '70s. That was when
Yeah.
real music was real. So yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm
It's
just
just
going to ask. I was getting ready to ask her what was for her. She read her comment. This is Yamaja, Dr. Yamaja. Can you see it?
I'm every woman is a song I really yes. I'm every woman. Nah, I can't sing,
Yeah.
but yes.
Women.
That is such a yes, that's one of those songs. It's like, yes, I'm every woman. Yes, no, that's a
Yeah,
great, great, great one, Imaja. That's a great one.
that one will get us all up, all of us up.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that and asking that wonderful question. So yeah,
Yeah, that was really
there are
great.
so many. So by way of just getting acquainted with you, whatever it is else that you would like to share with us, this would be the time to do it. Let us know what else you want to share, and then what it is you're doing in the world to help other people. I'd like to hear more about your, how did you get to become a chef? I saw you were cooking some nice little snacks with your child the other day on Instagram. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I guess it's such a multi-level question. Because I definitely believe in fulfilling your people talk about purpose, right? Like what is purpose and how do you find your purpose? It's
yes.
just like by going after your passions, the things that you just love, right? And so yeah, no, I started Neatta's
Mm-hmm.
Cuisine. I started that a few years ago. And it's just it has evolved as a business, and I don't do as much like cooking
Let me
for
ask you a
people.
question here. Nita, how did you come up with that name? Your name is Nancy Ngwa.
Yes. Yeah. So Nita's Cuisine, it was so I started off with one of my cousins, and she actually wanted to she was like, "Oh, now that you're an African woman, you can cook African food. So, let's start a business." And it took me a while to just kind of give some feedback on that. But I knew that if I were to go into it, I wanted to do more so distribution, right? Because I wanted a product that was sustainable. Because it's not really sustainable
Mm-hmm.
to be going around and catering, and that's not a sustainable. You can't do that forever, right? Like your body will give out on you. So for me
Mm-hmm.
was how do I get food that people can enjoy into the grocery stores? Um, but hey, everybody's got to start somewhere. So started there, and it was literally just a blend of our names is how I came up
Yeah.
with Nita's. And so that's where Nita's came from. It was just a
Okay.
blend of names, and Nita's Cuisine kind of
Okay.
stuck.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
what are some
so
of the things that that you have?
Yeah, so in addition to Nita's, we've got a dope app, ooh, I'm about to start cussing, but a dope product right now, sweet and heat sauce. It's really it's phenomenal. Check it out on the website, neatascuisine.com. And
What
so
was
I
that you
do
said
that
it was?
neatascuisine.com. You can actually order some products. So I've got like a sweet and heat sauce that's on there, and we have some other things in the works right now that'll come
Oh,
out. I think by the time the year is over. So a few little things, some other things going on there. So yeah, so definitely follow me,
okay.
just to stay tuned there. But in addition, I also recently partnered with a nonprofit called Ambassadors of Change, and AOC is
Mm-hmm.
just an organization that's just really near and dear to my heart because our focus is young girls. So within Ambassador of Change, we have a pageant called the Miss Black International Ambassadors Pageant, and that will be in Atlanta. This coming up this fall, we'll have another pageant here in Atlanta, and it's the largest grassroots pageant. And
Okay.
yeah, and um, but our mission is to 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 provide young girls with the feeling of being just empowered, right? It's a term called self-efficacy, in
Mm-hmm.
which you say that you know that you have the ability to do whatever you really want to do, to feel so we empower them um,
Mm-hmm.
through just different pillars, health and service, and different things. So check out Ambassadors of Change as well, and
Mm-hmm.
we're looking to grow the program and go into schools and really impact our community through our young girls
Oh,
starting at the age of grade 6 and
that's
above. So
good.
yeah, that's definitely a huge passion project for me, and just looking forward to do more with that organization.
And that's wonderful. Just keeping with this celebrating women who tell our stories. That is a part of keeping the stories going. Stories
Hmm.
of empowered women,
Yeah, because
young girls, how to
a
be
lot
empowered now.
now because I think we take for granted the fact that if you woke up with a mother that loves you, or anyone that loves you, right, any woman that can really speak power into you. I think sometimes we take that for granted because not every young girl has that, and so when you grow up in an environment in which you're not hearing or
That's
seeing
right.
the positivity, right, not every young black girl sees that they are beautiful because they don't see women that
Mhm.
look like them, that are being spotlighted, that have kiki coily curly hair,
Yeah.
or black women that are in leadership
Yeah.
positions. So the way they think they can make money is by either using their beauty, or not, or they're just doomed into one certain type of life, right? And so it takes a whole community to
Yeah.
raise these children, and so yeah, I can talk about that all day.
Yeah. I love that. That's that giving back
Hmm.
into who you have become. All of who you have become is what you're giving,
Hmm. Hmm.
one way
Yeah.
or
Yep.
another. And because sometimes you
Yeah.
never know what part of you is being received by the youth because they're watching, they're listening, and
Yep.
they're watching. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it's not just about what we say; it's what we do and how we be,
Yep.
how
Yes,
we show
yes. How you
up.
hold
It
yourself,
all
how you
matters.
hold yourself. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's all relevant, all significant. So yeah, so this Women's Month, it's
Yeah.
Women's Month, but young girls are also women, and so I think it's really important to love on a young girl, near you. They go through
Yeah.
just so much, and then in our community we don't really always emphasize health, right? Mental health, physical health, and so
Yeah.
providing them with that at a very young age, providing them with the ability and skill set to speak highly of themselves so they can get ready for job interviews, right? College interviews, job interviews, is also
Yes.
significantly important,
Absolutely.
and then teaching them the give back element of life also, with voting and getting involved in your
Yeah.
community.
Yes. Absolutely. That's one thing, helping them to realize that their voice matters.
Yeah.
Because so many times can become self-muted because they think nobody cares or their voice doesn't have
Exactly.
a value. And so
Yep.
this programs like that are just so necessary. And I love that you're doing that. And so we've
Yes.
come to the bottom of our 30 minutes. So glad you were here. I hope you'll be come back on at another time.
Yeah. Thanks for
And
having me.
did you have any last thing you would like to share?
Sorry, say
Yes,
that
you're
again.
welcome. You have any final nugget that you would like to leave our audience today?
Oh, geez. I usually come prepared with these. I just say, in celebrating women this month, just remember to take time to celebrate yourself, because oftentimes as women we're so good at just pouring into others and we forget to pour into ourselves. So that's my one tidbit. Is remember to take time to pour into yourself, and self-care. I don't mean like go get your nails done, get your hair done, because that's work. You gotta get out the house, right? But taking care of yourself, as in just even just sit down and just zen and meditate and just be thankful for you as a person and for all that you are. Be sure to take time out to recognize yourself in that way this month.
All righty. My computer was going kind of in and out. I don't think it was you. But
Oh, you're fine.
okay, so I thank you again. And my final nugget to everyone tonight is, know that your stories matter. You have every situation you go through is a story. Every day they are living through the stories of your life, and they can become stories that other people hear. Other people can be empowered by knowing if you got through it, they can get through what they're going through.
Yes.
So we
Yep.
celebrate women who are telling their stories. I thank Nancy for coming on and sharing her story. We just got acquainted, know some things about it I
Yeah.
didn't know before. And so again, thank you for coming on. Everyone, just know that you have the power. You got the power. I always say you got the power as a lymphologist, as a health person, that you got the power to help your body help you, but you have the power to help your mind, to help you, to also have a vibrant life. So like we were just speaking on tonight, speaking over your own self, that you are beautiful, you are smart, and you can do whatever you put your mind to. And with action, you can get things done. And so Good night. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. I'm here every Thursday for Let's Get Acquainted with Hillary Gooden at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. East, and I'll see you again on next week. Good night.
Bye.
Take it so long.